awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I also went to Catholic school, but like I didn't start in Catholic school. I actually went to a secular school first.
Yay.
For a while, and then I got kicked out. That's another story. And I ended up in Catholic school because it was down the block from where my parents were living. And once I got there, I had no concept of religion. So all of a sudden I had to crash course Catholicism, and all of a sudden I had to find out who God was, who was Jesus, who was Mary. Why was Mary also fucking God and had Jesus? All these things made no sense. And all of a sudden I had to think about a higher power watching me, and that was really weird and odd. And well, then I had to do these things called sacraments. Now, if you don't know what a sacrament is all these things that you have to do to advance in Catholicism. It's like, for those of you who play D&D, it's a quest, and you have to keep going on this quest, and then eventually you become super Catholic, extra points cleric, and then I hadn't done any of them, and all my classmates had, so I had to have a special religion class on the side where I had to quickly learn all of this stuff. And so I had to do a first confession, which I had never done before, and being a 12-year-old, I didn't really have anything to confess. I was very nerdy, I hadn't really done anything. So I went into a little booth, and there was a priest, and I told him that I hit my brother in the face with a hot water bottle. It's true. And I got 5 Hail Marys and was sent upon my way. And then the next week, I had to make my first communion. And that was great because we got wine at 12 and crackers, and that felt like a dinner party, so that was lovely. And then all of a sudden we had to do this thing called confirmation. Now, how many of you had to make confirmation? All right, a good number of you. All right, and so you remember that you have to take on a saint's name when you do this, and so it's like a thing. You have to emulate a saint. You have to pick a saint that has some thing that you want to just, embody in your own life. And confirmation, you also have to die for Catholicism, which at 12, being faced with my mortality at that point was jarring and awful. And all of a sudden I was like, oh no, if there's another crusade, they're gonna call in the home team from the Bronx. I'm gonna have to do this because I'll have been confirmed. And this was the 80s, and there was no internet, so I couldn't Google anything to help me get out of this. So I looked to my mother. My mom, always the wise ass, says, well, just outsmart them, you can do it. I'm like, outsmart them? How do I outsmart them? I lay awake at night having an existential crisis. How do I outsmart this? How do I get away from the Holy War? I know, I'll make up a fake saint. And I did. I went into school and I told my teacher, Mr. Santos, that I was going to take on the Saint Lufthansa. Saint Lufthansa, for those of you who don't know, is the patron saint of flight in Germany. That's why they named the airline after her. And I really did this, guys. I came up with a 1-page paper that you had to submit and then give over to your religion teacher. And I wrote this incredible bullshit story about Saint Lufthansa in southern Germany, which is near the Swiss border. And she was in a tower, and she was thrown out of the tower for her beliefs. And that's why she's the patron saint of flight. And this passes Mr. Santos. And I'm like, hey, great, this loophole's working well. But all the papers I didn't know went off to the head principal, Sister Mary Robert, who was a doctorate in theology, and caught me. Calls me into the office. I go into the principal's office, and she's laughing, basically, as she catches me with Saint Lufthansa. Really? What did you choose for your confirmation name?
Michelle.
Michelle. Saint Michelle is the patron saint of? See, you don't even remember. You don't remember. Like, nobody remembers what their patron saint is. And so she hands me a book of saints, and she says, well, you have to pick another one. Do it by tomorrow. Okay, so I go home, and I'm just flipping through the book, and I'm getting very bored reading all of these saints. They're awful. And I just take my finger, and I stick it in the book, and I end up with Saint Clare. Now, St. Clair is the patron saint of television. I basically sealed my fate at 12, guys. And so, I may have emulated St. Clair later in life, but the interesting thing is my mother still to this day will call me St. Lufthansa. Whenever she realizes that I'm trying to get out of something by bullshitting. Which is true. And so I give to you St. Lufthansa. Should you ever need a saint, don't go to St. Jude, the saint of lost causes, or St. Christopher, or St. Michelle. Sorry. No, fuck that. Go to St. Lufthansa. She's the one who will save you. She's the patron saint of bullshit. And with that, I give you that. Good night.
Oh wow, Jen Clary.